Hi there, I'm Wallace Trust, and today I'm sharing my workflow for the Watchers. So here we are in Carrera, an excellent software I use constantly. The model is Gargoyle by Silverkey 3D. Looking at this one, I decided to remove the horns and the bat wings. It needs to look a little more like a vulture for my purposes. I've duplicated the figure twice and rendered all parts invisible except for the head and neck. So now we have one figure with 3 heads. Let's work a little on the poses. Now for this picture, we're going to need 2 of these 3-headed figures. But that's actually easy. I'll just use Fenric's Tree Duplicator plugin to make an exact copy of my first figure. Let's position him a little bit better for the camera. Now the shaders are already applied to make the surface of this figure look like stone, but we need to do something about the eyes. Let's do a spot render. Those eyes need something to bring them to life. Let's fix that in the shader room. The typical mesh is divided into many shading domains. Here we can select just the surface of the eye and program the master shader to glow a sinister red. Now when we render the image, all of their eyes are glowing red. Now, let's bring in the heroes, Michael and Victoria 4. These are older but really wonderful, versatile meshes from Daz 3D. When you have a character that you use over and over again, like these little guys, it's best to have them set up in advance. I've been working on these 2 for years. They've gone through 7 generations, so they're pretty well worn. This shirt never follows Victoria's movements the way it should. I must have done something wrong when I set it up. That's why I'm working on an 8th iteration of both of these characters. These 3D figures are intricate. They have as many joints as a person would in real life. Fortunately, there are pose packages available, many of them for free. Getting the characters to hold hands is always a major challenge, but we have IK, Inverse Kinematics, to help us. Now there should be a way to pin their hands together so I can reposition their bodies without their hands coming apart, but I haven't figured it out yet. All the figures are in place now, but we don't have light. That's easy to fix. I'll just put a point light in Michael's hand. Now we'll work on the background. I'll add a sinister dark tower and a matching ground plane. And this time, when we render, the the computer has automatically calculated all the lights and shadows. This is the true miracle of 3D. So, we have our final render and we're finished with Carrera, but there's a lot of post work we need to do. The most noticeable issue is that the light fell on Michael's shirt, so it looks like he's wearing a dress. This will have to be corrected by hand. His hair is also too fluffy, his cloak is not right, and there's some kind of problem with Victoria's face. For this, I usually use GIMP. It's free and it can use tens of thousands of Photoshop brushes. Here I just loaded a sequence of images so you can get an idea of how I did the post work on this picture. So now I've corrected all those issues, and I'm going to add some fog and light brushes. That looks better. It indicates that there's an atmosphere here, but it's too bright and clear for my taste. And like with most renders, the edges of the figures are still overly sharp. My cure for this is to run the entire image through a series of paint filters. This will blur the edges and create a murkier effect, in addition to adding richer color. But the result doesn't look very good at first. This is much too dark. But when we combine it with the previous version, set it around half opacity, things start looking more hopeful. Now we're pretty close to the image I'd envisioned when I first started the project. That's about it. I just want to add this is only one of dozens of possible artistic workflows with this software. With this new technology, anything is possible. And best of all, the software I've demonstrated here is either cheap or free. So if you're a dreamer like me with 1,000 paintings in your head you've never gotten to, there's a way to make it happen.